One of the most interesting releases at NAMM this year was from the folks over at 2Notes. Now, 2Notes is a company that is no stranger to my channel. I've done videos on their products before, a lot of them in conjunction with the built-in torpedo remote on the Rev amplification amplifiers that I use. And I've got to say, they make really great product. Now, a few years ago, they announced the release of Genome. At least it went into beta testing, and they've been working hard on this for a while. And it was officially released this year at NAMM. Now, you might ask what Genome is. Well, Genome is a plugin that's going to work within your DAW that's basically going to be a channel strip for guitarists. And there's built-in amplifiers, there's a load of effects. You're going to be able to utilize the incredible DynIR collection that 2Notes offers at their website. And it's even going to now offer the ability to play captures from the Neural Amp Modeler, or otherwise known as NAMM, along with other types of captures as well. And we're going to take a look at all of this today. I'd also like to announce today, along with this, since it goes hand in hand with it, that as of today up on my website, that I actually have some N.A.M Captures available. I'm going to be going through my extensive amp collection and capturing a lot of these tones for the N.A.M platform. And I thought this would be a great video to kind of showcase some of those, since we now have the ability to load these captures up into Genome. And I'm going to show you all about that. But without further ado, let's dive over to our DAW and take a look and a listen to what exactly Genome is all about. All right, so here we are over in Genome, and this is what the plugin looks like. We're going to kind of go through a step at a time here, sort of try to take a look at all the features, or at least as many of them that I am aware of. So starting up at the top left here, we have our little hamburger button. We can adjust the window size everywhere from 50% to 200%. Kind of a nice feature. I have it set at 80% here. It's set up for my screen capture software. I'm not going to play with that right now. We can also log into our account, and that way Genome is going to populate with other products from 2Notes, such as their DynIRs. If we have a DynIR collection with them, that'll populate in here, and we'll have access to them within Genome. We got preferences as far as the graphic render, and we're ability to contact support and some about information. All right, so moving on from there, we'll go across this top strip. First, we have our input. We can choose our input routing, either stereo, mono, left, right, mix, mono from left or mono from right. We have a little input meter. I obviously have nothing in my chain right now. It's just going to be dry guitar. But we have our little input meter and the ability to raise or lower the amount of input signal we have going into Genome. Nice thing is, on all of the knobs and controllers in here, if we double click them, they default back to their original position. We have a nice little tuner in here that we can utilize. Apparently I'm a little sharp on that E. Things sound fine to me, so we'll leave that alone. But we do have the nice tuner, which we can either X out here or here. And we can even mute the output of it and change the reference. So very nice. We have a gate that we can decide the threshold we want to set, whether it's a hard or soft. When it's closed is shown as well, which is kind of cool. See, when I play, it opens up and then it closes down. And we can hit the learn button to just have the gate learn the level it should be set at. So very nice feature. I'll leave that off for now. Output meter and a final output slider that we can add or take away output if we want. Now, the other ability we have here is to adjust the oversampling. I have it on the kind of lowest setting right now, so it's just the DAW sample rate. So this is off. I could change this to high, high plus, ultra, and max. Obviously, the higher you go, the bigger hit on the CPU that's going to be. Not necessarily something we want. So I thought for this video, I'm just going to use it on the lowest setting, and it's only going to get better from there as far as the oversampling. All right, we have a little preset window here, which if we click on, gives us a wide array of built-in kind of factory presets here. And we can choose any one of these. I can click on those and it will pull up a signal chain. So you can see I have like a clonator, it's called here, clon overdrive pedal, which is going into a particular amp here, into studio chorus, into a DynIR cab, delay, and reverb. So nice little feature there, and that sounds kind of cool. Now, what if we had that preset called up, and actually you can kind of hear the noise there. This would be a great time to bring in the noise gate. And it shuts down nicely there. I could adjust that. All right, so we'll just take that off for now. So what we have here is the ability then to tweak this. Let's say I wanted to mess around with this and maybe we wanted less gain or change on the drive, whatever we wanted. We can save that as part of the original preset and just alter that preset. We can also hit the undo button. And we have a reset button, which will take us back to the original settings of that preset if we hadn't already saved it. All right, we also have the ability to tap tempo here. Right now, this is set to get the tempo from the DAW, the host, and I could also have it from the rig, so I could tap in a tempo here, but I'm just gonna keep it on host right now. So I'm gonna just reset this chain here, click off these blocks, and that gives us an idea of what the capabilities are of Genome. Now, as you can see here, we have these 10 blocks, and we're going to be able to add different effects to those, but we also have these little split circles in the middle as well, which allows us to split the chain in a number of different ways, which is kind of cool. So we'll just look at that in just a moment and what we could possibly use that for. Let's come in here and we'll take a look first at what we can add to our signal chain. We've got our amplifier. There's Codex here. We'll come back to that in a moment, but we have all of these amplifiers included. And I think it's going to be obvious for some of these what amps they are designed to mimic. This looks an awful lot like a Soul Nano amp. The previous one was an Orange amp. We've got stuff like Foxy, which is going to be a Vox amp. Now, if we mess with this without a cab, it's going to sound as we would think. This sort of cabless guitar amp that's not going to be too pleasant. So taking something like, I don't know, maybe let's start off with the El Dorado, which I believe would be something like a Soul Nano amp. We're going to want to add a cab to it. So we can either use just the impulse response loader, and we can load up our own impulse responses if we so desire, or we could go to our collection of dynamics. Now, I, from my past work with 2 Notes, have a nice little selection here. Everything from the George Lynch collection, Engel, some Dave Friedman collection, the Steve Stevens collection. Let's do this. Let's pull up a Steve Stevens cab. I really enjoyed that. This is, looks like it's going to be a 412 greenback loaded cabinet, but we can choose the different mics we have. We can, we can blend them. You see here I have a Shure SM57 and a Royer 121 ribbon. The mix right now is leaning over towards the Shure SM57, and the distance on the 121 is quite far back. Obviously, I could change that, move that up, and, kind of mess around with things, maybe move that. So you can see I can play around a lot with this and get a lot of really cool tones. Amps sound really nice in here as well. And again, if I double click any of these parameters, we go back to the default settings. So great, let's do this though. Let's add maybe a little bit of reverb in. We have a studio reverb. Maybe make that a little less wet and bring the reverb size down. Really cool. What else? maybe a delay. We can do either a stomp box style delay, or we could do a studio style delay. Let's stick with this. We can, this is a stereo delay. Obviously we can link both parameters. Let's maybe go to quarter note. If I unlinked it, I could have different delay times on each side. Now, obviously a lot of feedback going on there. Very wet. Probably a little bit too dry there. Actually link those and maybe unlink the feedback. We'll have a little more feedback on one side. You see, it's very easy to be up and running very quickly with a cool tone. Let's leave that alone. Now, what if we wanted to start messing around with this in a different manner so that we, let's say, wanted our delay and reverb, delay not to be feeding through our reverb? We could split the path. So we still have delay and reverb, but the delay is not feeding through the reverb now. So along with maybe dual amps or, utilizing this, we can do all sorts of really cool routing. But actually, honestly, I think what I'm going to do is just go back to what I had. So the amps are very nice. It's sounding great. Now, what else could we have? Well, there's a lot of different possibilities here. We have drive pedals. We can come to something like the Tube Screamer here. And there are other drives possible as well. We have the nice Klon model as well as different modulation effects. We have a phase 90 here. Very, very cool stuff. We could also come in here with chorus. Move that around and play with it as well. So many possibilities: modulation effects, chorus, flanger, tremolo, vibrato, phaser. We have stereo width. We could do like a twin tracker kind of an idea here. Pretty cool stuff and a lot of possibilities. We even have that ability to bring in the torpedo effects, the sort of the post effects where we have graphic EQ, we have an exciter. More compression and reverb there. So endless possibilities as far as what we can add in here. You see that we have delays, cabinets, enhancers, EQs. We have different studio EQs or more guitar-oriented EQ, pedal style. and just endless possibilities, everything we really need to dial in a killer tone. Now, let's go back to our amp block here for a second. I'm going to get rid of my Dyne IR, and I'm going to get rid of my amp block. I'm going to keep my delay and reverb on. If we go to the amplifier section, we can go to Codex. Now, Codex is going to give us the ability to load N.A.M Captures, along with some other maybe slightly lesser known styles of profiling or technologies, I guess we can call them. But I'm going to focus on the N.A.M Captures because, as I mentioned before, I'm actually offering some of these on my website now, some really cool ones I'll take you through today. I'm going to be capturing a lot more of my extensive amp collection utilizing these. So once we open this, what I can do is I can hit my little folder button and it'll take us to this folder with the included captures. But I'm going to take us over to my folder, where I have 3 capture bundles available. I have the Fried Sister Double Cream, which is going to be based off of a Friedman Little Sister amp. I have the Mars 74X Double Cream, which is going to be based off of the Marshall hand-wired 1974X. And I've got the Sir Badge Double Cream Ultimate, which is going to be based off of a Sir Badger 18. Let's come in here and look at the Mars 74X. I'll just pick one of these here. Now, the neat thing is once I've loaded that up, I can click here and it'll give me all of the other ones within that folder. So I don't have to keep coming back to my folder button and opening a folder up. I can just swap through them like so. So basically now I'm gonna turn all this extra stuff off, and this will give you exactly how this was captured when I created this capture. Really going for a nice little vintage Marshall tone. Really digging what that does. But what we can do with this now is we go through, we can take a look at the input. We can have it neutral sounding like it was captured or warm sounding. Or bright sounding. It's another tone shaping ability here. Let's just go back to neutral. We also have a gain control. Now that's obviously not going to work like the real gain control on an amp. But it is quite useful. We don't really lose the integrity of the capture, so we can raise or lower that gain level. Again, if we double click, we go back to the standard default setting. Now I can turn a tone stack on, and this is going to give us a couple different styles, a Kali style tone stack or a Luma Mark II style tone stack. So let's start with Kali tone stack. I'm just going to go really extreme here. Quite useful here, really. Also do that in pre or post mode. Can be quite handy as well. We can go to a different style tone stack. And we have a volume control. We just wanted more volume out of that altogether. Now we've also got the ability to add in a graphic EQ that's also going to include a low cut. So let's do this. Let's bring that up to maybe around 100. High cut, I don't know, bring that down to around 10K. And we can tailor it towards guitar or bass. You'll notice the frequencies on the graphic EQ change, or we can customize it and really customize the frequencies down here as well. So if we wanted to utilize this to maybe brighten things up just a little bit, you know, we could do this type of a thing. Works very nicely. We also have an enhancer, which we can use with dry and wet control as well. Just going to extremes again to let you hear what this can do. We could, add a bit of that in and then control it. And mess around with the dry and wet there to get that exactly where we want it. But I was actually very happy with the way these were sounding without any of that stuff. And we could go through the different captures I have here. Or we could explore completely different captures, maybe something like the Fried Sister Double Cream. I was very happy with the way those sounded, and now utilizing Genome, we can have a way to utilize our N.A.M Captures in a really cool signal chain with other effects, stomp boxes, studio effects, whatever we want, and we can tweak those to our heart's content. It's very nice to use and really well thought out. My hat goes off to the folks at 2Notes for a job well done on Genome. All right, what do you guys think? I think this is a really cool release. The price on this is $79.95 US. Pretty incredible entry point as far as price goes for everything you get with it. Add to it the ability to open the N.A.M Captures now, and it's really going to be a great tool in the studio for anyone who is recording and looking for a very versatile channel strip that's kind of geared towards guitar players. So on the way out, I'm going to play you the full demo video of my JS Mars 74 X Double Cream Ultimate N.A.M Captures. I utilized the various captures from this collection in this song in a full rhythm section, layered them together just so you could get to hear them in a mix as well. I did this song with my good friends Marco Miniman on drums and Jason Henry on bass, and I hope you really enjoy it. I was very, very happy with the way these tones turned out. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. Also, please subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification and notify when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. Hope you enjoy the music on the way out. Ciao for now.